In a game like Mobile Legends, vision is a very crucial part of winning a game. It is vital that you have the advantage of seeing enemies to know their positions and to anticipate what they are planning. So for today's video, we will talk about the two heroes that can help you have wards inside the game. Popol and Kupa. Selena is another hero that can also help your team have vision in the game. Both heroes can have skills that will help you have eyes around the map for you to spy on your enemies. Popol and Kupa is a marksman hero that can also fill the tank or support roles. Yes, Popol and Kupa is a legit marksman that can deal massive damage like other marksmen. However, some of you will wonder why Popol and Kupa are taking the role of a support in the tank most of the time. The reason for that is that Popol and Kupa can be a great utility hero because of their abilities to crowd control the enemy significantly. Imagine having 6 heroes in your team, right? Whoa, that's a total game change. So without further ado, let's start with his preparations. For this topic, we will only talk about Popol and Kupa as a tank or a support. So for the emblem, I suggest that you go for the support emblem setup. It consists of agility that will help you become more agile by gaining movement speed. It consists of rupture for you to have a hybrid penetration to damage through the durable enemies. And lastly, focusing mark as your talent. This talent will help you and your teammates kill enemies much faster because of the effect that after you attack an enemy, your allied hero's damage will increase by 6% to the specific enemy. This emblem configuration will be a perfect complement to Popol and Kupa's ability to gank and ambush enemies. Next is for the battle spells. Since Popol lacks mobility, I suggest that you pick between the 3 mobility spells, which is Flicker, Purify, and Sprint. It will help Popol escape possible ambushes because he is also an apple of the eye of the enemies to kill, especially when alone. And now let's talk about the effective support build for Popol and Kupa. The first is for the boots. I recommend that you get defensive boots, whether tough boots or warrior boots. It can be a great help to withstand the damage of the enemies in the early game. As always, choose the warrior boots if most of your enemies rely on physical damage, and choose tough boots if most of them rely on magic damage. Next is the Awe Mask. This item is in the category of roaming items. As I've said, Popol and Kupa will most likely play the tank or support role in this updated meta. Plus, the item is perfect for them because of the passive effect that your basic attack will mark an enemy hero and slow the hero down by 90% for 1.2 seconds. And during this mark time, the hero will be stunned for 1.5 seconds when attacked 5 times by you or your teammates. Thus, it will be a sure stun for the enemies if Popol and Kupa will attack them consecutively. In addition, this item will also give stats of 700 points of health and a 10% cooldown reduction. The next item is the Thunder Belt. Aside from the Awe Mask, this item also helps you and your teammate to have high percent of killing enemies. After Popol will use a skill that is more likely to happen, his next basic attack will have the ability to deal extra true damage and slow the enemies down that will be hit by its surrounding units. This item will grant you massive stats of 800 points of health, 6 points of mana regeneration, and another 10% cooldown reduction and 40 points of physical defense. For our next item is the Brute Force Breastplate. This item will give you 770 points of health and 45 points of physical defense. But the best part of this item is the reason this item is best for Popol and Kupa is its passive. Casting a skill or using a basic attack will increase movement speed by 3% and physical magic defense by 4% that can be stacked up to 5 times. He can also abuse this item because we all know that Popol and Kupa are still marksman heroes that will surely rely on his physical attack damage. And for his 5th item is the Sea Halberd. Commonly in a game, you will undoubtedly encounter enemies that will have physical magical lifesteal. And it is a way to help your team if you counter through building counter items. This item has a passive that reduces the HP regeneration effect of the enemies you hit. Aside from that, this item will grant you stats of 80 points of physical attack, 25% attack speed to help you utilize your basic attacks. And lastly, for the items, it's none other than the Immortality. So this item is very crucial in the late game since it gives you another chance of fighting the enemies or helping your teammates escape and defend your turrets, with the help of its passive, the Resurrection. And now let's talk about Popol and Kupa's skills. First, for his passive, the We Are Friends. Popol always fights in the side of his best partner Kupa. Popol will take care of Kupa if it has not taken any damage in 5 seconds. 10% of Kupa's max HP will be restored every second. When Kupa is down, Popol can pray 3 seconds to summon it back again to battle, with a cooldown of 45 seconds. After 4 consecutive attacks by Kupa on an enemy, the next basic attack of Popol will deal extra physical damage. It is like you have 2 heroes at a time. Next is his first skill, the Bite 'em Up Kupa. Popol will throw a spear on a specific target and orders Kupa to bite it also. If the ultimate skill is activated when you use this skill, an enemy target will be stunned for 1 second. Next is his second active skill, the Kupa Help. Popol summons or calls Kupa back to protect him and instantly gives Popol a shield dealing physical damage to nearby enemies and slowing them by 60% or 0.5 seconds. Kupa will assist Popol in attacking nearby enemies for 3 seconds when used the Alpha Wolf form. Kupa darts back to protect his master and knocks enemy heroes airborne for 0.6 seconds, dealing 150% increased damage. Next is the Popol Surprise. This skill is one that I am telling you that can give you so much vision in the game. Popol will set up traps in a targeted location, detonating after a short delay when an enemy is near, immobilizing them for 1 second and creating a frost zone for 4 seconds. It will reduce their movement speed by 35% and Popol can store up 3 traps and gain 1 charge per second. Up to 3 traps can be set, each lasting 60 seconds. This can become your ice in some bushes, so you will not hesitate for your teammates to farm and get objectives because you can be confident enough and you can start predicting enemy movement. And lastly, his ultimate skill, the We Are Angry. Popol and Kupa will both become enraged for 12 seconds. Popol and Kupa will gain attack speed and 50% of movement speed. Kupa enters a wolf form, restoring full HP, increasing its max HP and physical attack by 35 and enhancing other skills. And now let us talk about the tips and tricks on how to play Popol and Kupa effectively. The first is the most important tip that I can give you, is to be wise in using your traps. Make sure to always put it in strategic places where you can think that the enemies will set up an ambush, like the bushes and the side paths. Also, when attacking or chasing down enemies, make sure you put it in an advanced manner so if ever the enemies will run and fall back, they will be hit by the trap. They will also have no chance in escaping. The next tip is to make the most out of Popol and Kupa's ability to help kill enemies. Always make sure to roam around the map and help your teammates make opponents uncomfortable, especially when you reach level 4. This is the time that you can have a sure kill whenever you roam and gank enemies. Also, when you already have the Awe Mask, that will legit boost your killing ability. Next is don't hesitate to go after support or a marksman of the enemy team. Again, Popol and Kupa are legit marksmen that can kill enemies alone. And besides, Popol will not be alone since Kupa will be there to back him up. And lastly is to lock on priority targets. Don't just click your skill and point to whoever is the convenient target for you. Make sure you lock onto the enemy that is your team's priority. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned a lot in this video and become a great Popol and Kupa user. Again, the key to improving in the game is not by watching some videos or tutorials, but applying it and practicing it. Anyway, what you guys think about the video? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to visit yugatech.com/gaming for more news, tips, and tricks. It's your boy Enzo, and stay safe.